I'd like to call the March 18th, 2026 meeting of the City of Avondale Planning Commission to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Ortega.
Present.
Commissioner Guzman.
Present.
Commissioner Grimm, or Vice Chair Grimm.
Present.
Commissioner Lopez-Davy.
Present.
Commissioner Jewell has an excused absence for tonight, and Commissioner Pineda is not present at the moment, but I will note her arrival in the minutes when she arrives.
And I'm present too.
My apologies. Chair McBurney.
Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of the December 17th, 2025 meeting? Does anyone have any corrections to make? All right, hearing that we have no corrections, I'll entertain a motion. I have a motion from Commissioner Grimm and a second from Commissioner Lopez-Davy. Let's go ahead and vote on our screens. And the motion passes 4-0.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, wouldn't it be 5-0?
My screen says 4.
It was an abstention, and that actually does count as a yes vote.
Okay,
but thank you. 5-0.
Motion passes 5-0.
Chair, this is my first day, so I was a part of the minutes. So that's the reason for the vote, Chair.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
It's time to move on to our public hearing items. Staff, can I get a report for item 4A, please?
Are you able to hear me? All right. Okay. Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. My name is Cole Hunger. I'm a planner of the city. The first item we have is agenda item 4A, Rosilian Villas, a major planned area development amendment. This is application PL 250250. The purpose of this item is to review the proposed major planned area development amendment for Rosilian Villas, conduct a public hearing, and forward a recommendation on the item to City Council. To begin with some background on the property, it is approximately 24.89 net acres. It is located at the south of the southwest corner of Dysart Road and Van Buren Street, and it was annexed in 1960. To the north of the property, there is multi-tenant auto sales and an Avondale shopping center. To the south is Madison Heights. It's a multifamily residential project or development. To the east is mostly commercial with the Agua Fria Storage Center, as well as a manufactured home park, Estrella Villa Mobile Home Park. And then to the west is Estrella Health and Rehabilitation Center. The PAD amendment request is to change to amend the existing PAD Avondale Townhomes on Dysart, which is a single-family townhome development, to the Rosilian Villas PAD, which would allow for a multifamily duplex development. The C1 neighborhood commercial that is attached to the planned area development located in the northeast of the property will remain unchanged. Some of the surrounding zoning of the property is the C2 community commercial in the reddish color there to the north, east, and west, and then to the south is R3 multifamily residential, and that white color, and then directly south of that is R16 single-family residential. Here are some site photos of the existing conditions of the site. This is looking north from Dysart Road. At the far end of the property there, you can see the commercial plaza. This is looking south from 4th Street, and then again at the far end of the property, you can see that multifamily residential. The general plan land use designation is medium-high density residential. This allows for 4 to 12 dwelling units per acre. Some of the surrounding general plan land uses are local commercial in the pink. This is to the north, east, and west. and then high-density residential to the south. The proposed land use amendments and design standards deviations include the removal of the single-family residential townhome land use from the PAD, and in its place it is adding the multifamily residential duplex use along with the multifamily residential attached residential use. There will also be a deviation request to substitute the required minimum of 25% garages with covered and uncovered parking spaces. This is the site plan. It shows the 291 unit multifamily duplex development. These units are 3 to 4 bedrooms and will have approximately a 400 square foot private yard. The amenities include a community hub, which is located on the Dysart entrance. This is in the bottom west side there. This includes the clubhouse, a fitness center, the pool, shade structures, and a few playgrounds. The other major amenity location is the community commons. This is located across from the entrance on 4th Street. It is a larger open green space that also includes a splash pad, a playground, and some shade structures. Other amenities on the site include a pedestrian path going north to south. This is through the center of the property, as well as a pedestrian path going from east to west, more so in the southern third of the property. Throughout the property, there is also smaller open space areas. The access and circulation to the site has a primary entrance on Dysart Road, as well as a secondary entrance on 4th Street to the west end of the property. There is a planned internal private drive that houses the shared parking, both covered and uncovered spaces. For the major PAD amendment, the staff analysis found that the proposed rezone meets the 5 required findings established by the Avondale zoning ordinance for the planned area development. The development is consistent with the land use and housing goals in the General Plan 2030. This includes meeting the housing goals of a variety of housing and workforce housing. The project is in conformance with the PAD requirements of the zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations, applicable design manuals, and other applicable regulations and requirements. As well as adequate public infrastructure is in place to support the proposed development or will be constructed by the developer. A neighborhood meeting was held for the project on January 20th, 2026. There were 2 attendees present, a city council member, and a member of the public, aside from the applicant's team and the city staff. The discussion topics included the income restriction aspect of the project and estimated rent prices, the provided amenities and open space, as well as unit accessibility. To date, staff has received 1 public comment on the city's Avondale Connect platform that expressed concern about not offering enough ownership opportunities or home ownership opportunities, as well as no new grocery stores in Avondale. Staff recommends that the approval of application PL 250250 subject to the 7 conditions of approval as set forth in the staff report. I'm available for any questions. The applicant is also here if you have any questions for them. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the staff?
I have a question.
Okay, Commissioner Grimm.
I saw in there's a contribution for a signal at 4th and Van Buren. Is there a timeline on that?
Yes. Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. We have I believe the applicant is working with our engineering and traffic engineering team to work on a timeline of that. I believe there has been an agreement on the funds, but I don't believe there's a set date at this time.
And then this question might be for the applicant, but there is a land use restriction agreement, correct? For this pad?
There in the PAD, there's a list of allowed land uses. This would include like
I was just, the question on the land use restriction was, what is the timeline for that? Does anyone know?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Grimm, are you asking about the traffic signal agreement?
No, the land use restriction.
The PAD zoning runs with the land, so it's in place unless somebody rezones to something different. So it's in place forever.
Okay.
And if I can just follow up on this traffic signal, the way the condition reads is that prior to issuance of the first certificate of occupancy for the new buildings, that's when they would contribute the funds.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any further questions for staff? Yes. Commissioner Ortega?
Thank you, Chair. Just a few questions. This project, is it targeting a certain group of homeowners or renters or?
Yes, Vice Chair, Chair, and Commissioners. So the intended tenets of the project is workforce housing. It will be income restricted. So there will be a cap to how much the household income can be to apply for to live on in the project. It was also noted that if their income was to exceed that cap after they have already been living and had the lease, they are able to remain as a tenant of the property.
Is there a targeted AMI on it?
Sorry?
A targeted AMI?
I believe it was Chair, Vice Chair, and Chairman, or Commissioners. I believe the target AMI was around 60,000, maybe a little bit above that.
Mr. Chairman, if I can add, I'm sure the applicant can provide you more details about the program. It is 60% or less of the area medium income, or AMI. And although it's not an element that we regulate through the PAD zoning, it's for your information.
Okay. Just for staff, I have a few more questions. Is that okay, Chair?
Yes.
All right, thank you. The parking, is it a 2-to-1? What's the ratio on the parking?
Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. Yes, so the parking would be 2 spaces per unit, with one of the spaces being covered. And this is in substitute partially in substitute for the 25% minimum requirement of the garages that they're deviating from.
Okay.
Any further questions, Commissioners?
No. Thank you, Chair.
Would the applicant like to make a statement? Please state your name when you approach the podium for the record.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, good evening. My name is Stephen Anderson. For your record, my address is 40 North Central, 20th floor in Phoenix. I'm here this evening on behalf of Dominium. With me from Dominium is Jacob Berger. Commissioner Ortega had some questions about how the low-income housing tax credit program will work on the site. We just wanted to make sure that those got addressed. As Catherine indicated, the income cap is 60% of AMI, and we have the figures of what that actually translates into in terms of an annual income. You must income qualify to move into the community. And in addition to that, as Cole indicated when we had the community meeting, Vice Mayor Nelson wanted to know about how that works in terms of what if you do better after you get into the community? What if you were succeeding in your job? It doesn't matter. Once you're in, you're in. Once you've qualified and you've leased the unit, you can hopefully experience economic success. And that's really what the LIHTC program is about, is so that folks who are kind of forced to rent by affordability challenges have an opportunity to really create that nest egg so that they can take the next step and eventually maybe hopefully acquire something after they've lived in our community for a few years. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you before I let Jacob talk about the program is that this is a program that it runs through the state, through the Arizona Department of Housing. So we do have a contractual obligation to them to provide the housing and maintain its affordability. And what that means is that Dominion will own this project for a long time. The contractual obligation to the state is 30 years. Dominion does not need to own it for all 30 years, but they'll own it for a long time. And the reason that I mentioned that is it means that what we are really doing is we're long-term owners. We are, in that regard, like a homeowner. So we build these communities with quality and so that they will last. Because if something breaks in a year, we're the ones who are going to have to fix it. And with that, Jacob, did you want to talk about and specifically there was a question about the agreement with the state. If you could talk about that.
Sure.
It has a name.
Sure. Thank you. Jacob Berger with Dominium. So there was a question on the land use restriction agreement. So the LURA is in place at the time that we would, close on the property and start construction. It's deed restricted with the property. And like Stephen was saying, the affordable restrictions, the compliance period is 30 years with the Arizona Department of Housing. So we are tied to their restrictions. We would be at 60% area median income for the life of the project or as long as we own the project.
All right, are there any questions for the applicants? All right, seeing no questions for the applicant, I would like to now open the public hearing for this item. Are there any requests to speak?
Thank you, Chair. We have not received any requests to speak, but if there is anyone who would like to speak, you may proceed to the podium.
Do we have anyone in the audience who'd like to speak? Seeing that we do not, I would now like to close the public hearing for this item. Are there any further questions from the commissioners for the staff or the applicant? No? Hearing none, I would like to entertain a motion. I have a motion from Commissioner Grimm and a second from Commissioner Davey. Let's go ahead and please vote using your screen. And the motion passes 5-0. I'd like to thank the participants and the applicants. Staff, let's move on to public hearing item number 4B and C. Do you have a report for me?
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. The next item is item 4B and C, Cerro Vista. It is a minor general plan amendment and rezone. These are applications PL 25-0217 and PL 25-0218. The purpose of these items is to review the proposed minor general plan amendment and rezone for Cerro Vista, conduct a public hearing on each, and forward a recommendation on each item to the City Council. To begin with some background on the property, it is approximately 10.1 net acres. It is located at 12104 West Van Buren Street, and it was annexed in May of 1978. To the north of the property is the Fairway Commerce Center. It is in a light industrial use. To the south is Coldwater Springs Apartments and Highland Preparatory Academy. To the east is the River Crossing Self-Storage, and to the west is existing single-family residential dwellings. The subject property was rezoned in 2021 to R4 multifamily residential for a 249-unit apartment community. It has remained vacant since then. The following are site photos of the existing conditions. This is looking west down Van Buren Street on the south side of the property. On the far end there, you can see those existing single-family dwelling units. This is on the north side of the property, looking east from Corporate Drive. And again, at the far end of the property there, you would see the commercial storage unit project that is on the east end. For the minor general plan amendment request, the applicant is seeking to amend the general plan land use designation of the subject property from high density residential to medium high density residential. At high density residential, the target is 12 to 30 dwelling units per acre. The change to medium high density residential would bring that down to 4 to 12 dwelling units per acre. Some of the surrounding land use designations are business park in the purple color, education in the blue, and then high density residential is in the more brown color there to the south, and then medium high density is the lighter beige to the east of the property. The rezone request is to rezone the subject property from R4 multifamily residential to Cerro Vista planned area development with an underlying zoning of R3 multifamily residential. This is to facilitate the development of a 99-unit single-story residential development. Some of the surrounding zonings include the Fairway Commerce Center planned area development to the north, the Coldwater Springs planned area development to the south, the agricultural zoning district to the west, which is the single-family residential dwelling units, and then the C2 community commercial zoning district to the east. The proposed development standard deviations from the R3 multifamily residential zoning include a decrease to the front yard setback and rear yard setback, a reduction in the maximum units allowed for a lower overall density on the site, as well as reducing the landscape setback on Corporate Drive. Further proposed deviations include the a reduction to the minimum common usable open space from 20 to 15%. However, each unit will have a private rear yard that is not included in the 15%. There is a requested substitute to the required clubhouse and community pool, and this is being substituted with a central community hub, as well as requests to substitute the 25% garage parking with a combination of covered and uncovered parking spaces throughout the property. The following is the site plan. It shows the 99 units. They're single-story residential condo developments. They're all detached from one another and have their own private yards of roughly 300 square feet. There will be 4 floor plans with 3 elevation schemes, so there will be no identical adjacent homes next to each other or across from each other. Amenities include the central community hub, which has shade structures, seating areas, built-in grills, a pizza oven, picnic tables, turf areas, and a fire pit gathering space. Other amenities include a dog run to the northeast of the property, as well as bicycle storage and workstations for any minor, like pumping up tires or repairs that you would need to do. These are located along Van Buren Street on the south, as well as the storage part of the central community hub. The site design has the primary access off of the Van Buren Street to the south, and then secondary access to on Corporate Drive to the north. There's also the internal circulation of the private drives in the loop, interior loop of the complex, with the shared covered and uncovered parking spaces lined throughout. A detailed review of the site plan will take place during the site plan and design review administrative approval process. Staff analysis found that the proposed amendment meets the 4 required findings established in the Avondale General Plan for the minor general plan amendment. The medium-high density residential designation promotes a variety of housing types, along with infill development opportunities, which also aligns with the city's housing goals. The request will result in the development that is compatible with and complementary to the existing uses in the area. And the development will meet the necessary infrastructure requirements. The reduction in density goes from roughly 24 dwelling acres per unit down to 8.6 dwelling units per acre. So this will equal a reduction in traffic volumes. Staff analysis of the planned area development rezone found that the proposed rezone meets the 5 required findings established by the Avondale zoning ordinance for the planned area development. The development is consistent with the land use and housing goals in the General Plan 2030 with the minor general plan amendment. The PAD will align with the medium high density designation that is the item 4B, and it advances the housing goals to provide unique ownership-oriented housing types that support housing diversity and workforce housing. The project shall meet the R3 multifamily residential standards with the requested deviations, and the development shall follow the zoning codes, subdivision regulations, applicable design manuals, and other regulations unless modified. For the public participation, a neighborhood meeting was held on February 11th, 2026. There was one council member attendee present aside from the applicant's team and city staff. Discussion focused around the unit ownership, pricing, and size, responsibility of the landscape maintenance, as well as if there will be a condo ownership association. To date, staff has not received any public comment on the city's Avondale Connect digital platform. For agenda item 4B, the general plan amendment, staff recommends approval of application PL 250217 for the reasons set forth in the staff report. And for agenda item 4C, the planned area development rezone, staff recommends approval of application PL 250218, subject to the 7 conditions of approval as set forth in the staff report. Thank you, and I'm available for questions.
Do we have any questions from the commissioners?
Yeah.
Commissioner Grimm?
One quick question, I guess. I'm a little confused. So is this a multifamily, or is it really a single-family small division?
Hi, so yes, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. It would be a single-family development in terms of the unit type. However, the site design follows more in line with the city's multifamily design standards in terms of like site layout and the shared drive aisles and shared amenities.
Okay.
So it's in between.
Okay. And then maybe what is a central community hub? I guess
it functions much like what the clubhouse of a multifamily development would be like. However, it's all outdoor oriented. There's not a physical structure that they're enclosed in, but it contains many similar amenities that you would find in there, including like cooking related, as well as outdoor activities with the lawns present there.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Commissioner Ortega?
Yes, so the word is condo, so these are for sale? Is that what my understanding?
Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners, the applicant has indicated that these are intended to be condo platted and then for sale initially.
Initially?
There's no indication from the applicant that they will be rented. However, it's not, planning cannot stipulate whether or not they will be for sale or for rent.
Okay. Chair, just one more question. So in that, just being a community in itself, is there, I might have missed it in the notes, is there an HOA on this inside?
Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners, yes, the applicant has indicated that there is an intent to create an HOA or condo owners association.
Any other questions, Commissioner?
Thank you, Chair. No, thank you, Chair.
All right, I have a question and a concern. So access into this development will be off of Van Buren with a secondary access leading to Corporate Drive. What is the plan for Corporate Drive and getting some sort of traffic light control at the intersection of Corporate and Fairway? Currently, that intersection is a circus on a good day, and I know that there was a plan for down the road for expanding that intersection and putting in some traffic controls, but I am kind of concerned that you've got a fairly large development going in and people are going to be tempted to sneak out the back way. It's just human nature, which will add significant congestion on Fairway, especially with the postal warehouse there leading to Interstate 10. So I was just wondering, is there any plan to mitigate some of that?
Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners, yes, I believe there is plans to put a traffic signal at the intersection of Corporate and is it Fairway Drive?
Yeah, Fairway.
Yes. I believe some of that was brought up in the Avondale Tech development that's close by. I don't believe there is a concern that was indicated through our traffic engineering due to this being a reduction in the density from what was previously approved for the R4 zoning. It's going from just under, I believe, 300, what was going to be a 300-unit apartment complex to now 99 units. So it will be less traffic from this project. But there is still the intent to have a traffic signal in the future at that Corporate and Fairway.
But there's no timeline officially in place.
I do not believe we have a set date for when that would be completed.
Okay. Do we have any other questions, Commissioners? All right. Would the applicant like to make a brief statement? Please state your name when you reach the podium for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. My name is Carolyn Oberholzer. I'm with the law firm of Bergen, Frakes, Smalley, and Oberholzer at 4343 East Camelback in Phoenix. Very happy to be here on behalf of Lennar Homes tonight for their Dream Series product at Cerro Vista. Thanks to Cole and the rest of the Avondale staff for working through this project with us. It is a down zone. I'm not often here asking to make things less dense or intense, but what we're trying to do with this product and what Lennar has successfully executed for the first time in Maricopa, and this would be their second in the state, and maybe even nationwide, Vicki, is this Dream Series, which is getting at this missing middle housing and trying to create an affordable ownership product. And so there is a stipulation in the PAD that does require that we provide the condo plat before building permit issuance. And the condos will be structured so that each of the homes includes the 300 square foot minimum backyard. So unlike a condo structure in a multi-story building where you only own the airspace within the walls, in Cerro Vista, that condo will include your entire unit and your rear yard. The common ownership and the condo association will maintain everything outside of your front porch and beyond, and the side yards. So all the common gathering spaces as well. So we're really excited to deploy this product. We hope that it will be delivered to market in about 18 months, if all goes well with our site plan and construction drawing process, and we're happy to answer any questions that have gone unanswered thus far.
Any other commissioners have questions for the applicant? All right. Yes.
It's not so much of a question, but just make sure that, I think there's a high school across the street, and all traffic and construction and all that has been weighed and measured. And are we good with traffic studies with the high school and everything else happening on Van Buren?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
That's just a concern.
Yeah, as a part of our rezoning, we had to submit a full traffic impact analysis. All of the intersections were studied. We are required to make certain circulation improvements, including we're installing a left turn lane into the project onto Corporate, as well as a deceleration lane on Corporate. As the developments along Corporate build out, there will be a signal installed at Corporate and Fairway, but as Cole mentioned, the previously approved apartment project for this location did include almost 300 units. So when we reduce that down to 99 units in this case, that in and of itself will help to address the increased traffic that's happening at that intersection. And there will also be a different routing of traffic patterns once Corporate connects to Avondale Boulevard, which is, if you drive over there, it looks like it could be pretty soon. The road's done, the fence is up, so I'm not sure when that's coming down, but it'll be soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions from the commissioners? All right. Seeing none, I would now like to open the public hearing for this item. Are there any requests to speak?
Thank you, Chair. We have not received any requests to speak, but if there is anyone in the audience who would like to speak, you may proceed to the podium.
All right. Seeing that we don't have anyone wishing to speak, I will now close the public hearing for this item. Are there any further questions for the staff or the applicant from any of the commissioners? Nope. All right. I will now entertain a motion. We're going to do this two separate motions. I'll entertain a motion for item 4B. All right. We have a motion from Commissioner Guzman. I need a second. And a second from Commissioner Davey. Please take a moment and vote on your screen. And the motion passes 5 votes to 0. All right, now I will entertain a motion for item 4C. I have a motion from Commissioner Davey and a second from Commissioner Guzman. Please cast your votes on your screen. And the motion passes 5 votes to 0. Thank you very much. I'd like to move on to public hearing item number 4D. Does the staff have a report for us?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. Item 4D is the Boulevard Administrative Approval Zoning Code Text Amendment. This is application PL 26-0048. The purpose of this item is to review the proposed zoning code text amendments, conduct a public hearing, and forward a recommendation to City Council. This is a city-initiated zoning code text amendment that deals with the Boulevard District. The Avondale zoning ordinance was first adopted in 1951, with the last update being approved by Council in January 2026. Under the current zoning code, site plan and design review applications are approved administratively. This update seeks to align the Avondale zoning ordinance with the recently passed HB 2447, which requires administrative approvals for all site plan and design review applications, including those in special districts. Currently, our zoning ordinance allows those site plan and design reviews, or requires those site plan and design reviews to have a recommendation of approval by Planning Commission and then be forwarded to City Council. So the proposed amendment deals with 2 sections primarily. Section 28-6 addresses all site plan and design review applications, while Section 28-91 refers to development plans specifically located within the Boulevard District. Both amendments will align the zoning code with the state law requirements by removing references to Planning Commission and City Council approval, and where appropriate, will replace those with the zoning administrator. As far as public participation, all required notifications were completed,
and a post was made on Avondale Connect. To date, no comments or questions have been received by the public.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions for the staff?
I just have a question. With that change, would there be anything that we would have seen in the past that we won't see now because of this change?
So, Chair and Vice Chair Grimm, under this new zoning ordinance and with the state law, we would no longer bring site plan and design reviews to Planning Commission. They would be approved administratively like all of our other site plan and design reviews currently are.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I can just add to that. So in the boulevard, it's called a development plan, which is the same thing as a site plan and design review. So those development plans for any activity you were seeing in the boulevard used to come to Planning Commission and Council. So we'll handle those administratively like we do everywhere else in the city.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? No? All right. I would like to open this up for a public hearing on this item. Do we have any requests to speak?
Thank you, Chair. We have not received any requests to speak, but if there is anyone in the audience who would like to proceed to the podium, you may.
Seeing that we don't have anyone proceeding up to the podium, I will now close this public hearing on this item. And I will entertain a motion for item 4D. I have a motion from Commissioner Grimm and a second from Commissioner Davey. Please go ahead and vote on your screen. And the motion passes 5 votes to 0. Thank you, staff. And we're going to move on to item 5, commission announcements. Does anyone have any announcements I'd like to make here on the commission? Seeing that we have none, move on to the planning division report. Does the Deputy Director have any items to report to the commission?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I just wanted to share that for the month of February, we did receive 26 new planning cases. That gives us a total of 142 active applications. And thank you for your service this evening. We appreciate all you do.
We appreciate you guys as well. Moving on to the calendar, our next scheduled meeting is April 15th. And we'll move on to adjourning the meeting. Can I get a motion for adjournment, please? I have a motion from Commissioner Guzman and a second from Commissioner Grimm for adjournment. Please vote on the screen. And the motion passes 5 votes to 0. We are adjourned.